Alright, in this video we are going to practice doing some simple constructions. Specifically, we are going to practice copying a segment and copying an angle using only a straight edge and a compass. So here we go. Let's start with copying this segment right here. If you want to copy a segment, first thing you want to do is take your straight edge. Right? Ignore the markings of a ruler, right? Pretend that this was blank. When you're doing constructions, you don't get to measure it and go, oh, look, that's 5 centimeters or whatever. So when you start off, just make a segment that's longer than the segment that is your original. Okay? And let's say if this was segment AB, just so you can keep track of what I'm doing. This is going to be my new point A, so I will call it A prime. So all I really need is my new point B to find out exactly where that's going to be. And to figure that out, that's where my compass comes in. Okay, so I'm going to use my compass to really measure and figure out exactly how wide this is. Okay, make that exactly the correct length. And then, without letting it move, alright, put the tip of your compass on your new A prime, and draw yourself an arc. That arc, where it intersects your new segment, is going to be your B prime. So, there it is. I like to just darken it in a little bit. But this segment A prime B prime is congruent to segment AB. So let's do the same thing for number 2. I'm going to call this A and I'm going to call this B. So again, the first thing you do is just make a new segment that's definitely longer than what you are copying. And I'll call this endpoint A prime. So again, to find my B, I'm just going to use this to measure the distance. Okay, so then I'll put my point here at A prime and draw my arc. And then I'll put a point here and that'll be my B prime. And I've basically done it. I like to darken it up just a bit to make it more clear. Okay, so there. Segment A prime B prime is going to be congruent to segment AB. Now for number 3, we're supposed to construct a segment that is twice as long as the given segment. So we're just going to go ahead and make a segment that's nice and long, so we have plenty of room. So if I'm going to call this point A and I'll call this point B as before. Okay, this down just a bit. So I will pick this end to be my A prime. Once again, I'm going to use my compass as a measuring device first to figure out the exact width, the exact length of segment AB. Now we'll use that length without letting my compass width change, and I'm going to draw an arc that has that radius. Okay, so far the distance to this mark is the same as AB, but I want to construct a segment that is twice as long. So all I need to do is, keeping my compass the same width, I will pick up where I left off and put my point on the last point and draw another arc. Okay, so now this point, if I let that be my B prime, okay, or maybe I should have used different letters since I'm not really just copying, I'm stretching. So maybe I won't call this A prime B prime this time. Maybe I'll call it C and D. Okay, so if this is my C and this is my D, then CD will now be twice as long as AB. And again, I will darken that up a little bit. Okay, so segment CD is the segment that is twice as long as segment AB. All right, number 4. If I want to construct a segment that is 3 times as long, well, you can see where I'm headed with this. I'm just going to use the same process. So if this is my A and my B, wait, can you even see what I'm doing? Okay, so if this is my A and my B, then I'm going to pick this as my first endpoint. And once again, I will use my compass as a measuring device. Okay, so that is the right width. So I'll put an arc here. All right, that's the first distance, but I'm going to do that 2 more times. All right, now that's going to be twice as long. And if I do it 1 more time, now we're looking at 3 times as long. So if I put my endpoint here, and if I call this C and I call this D, then the distance from C to D is going to equal 3 times the distance from A to B, just like they wanted. Okay, now let's work with angles. So I need to flip this over to the back. All right, so now we need to learn how to copy some angles. So I will call this point A. And so the first thing you want to do is take your compass and put the point of your compass on the vertex. Now, it doesn't really matter exactly how wide your compass is. You just don't want it to be so wide that you miss the ends of your arrows there. Okay, you want to have a nice intersection. So plant your corner there on the vertex and then draw yourself an arc that intersects both sides of your angle. Go ahead and put 2 points showing that intersection. And I'm going to go ahead and call them B and C. All right, just so you can keep track of what I do with them later. All right, so now I'm keeping that size remembered. I'm not changing my compass. Okay, so I've still got that same radius. So what I'll do now is I'm basically going to copy this side of the angle right now. It doesn't have to be exactly parallel or anything. That doesn't matter. Okay, so here's my first side. These arrows indicate that the sides of an angle are raised. They go forever. So it doesn't matter how long your arrow really is. All right, so this will be my A prime. So basically now I'm going to find my B prime. I'm going to duplicate this point right here on this new side. And the way I will do that is I will use that same radius that is still, my compass still remembers, and I'm going to use that radius right now to draw a new arc. So I will plant the tip of my compass on point A prime, and I will draw myself an arc like this. Okay, now this point where the arc intersects the side of my new angle, that'll be my B prime. All right, so I've duplicated that location, and you can see that that distance is the same. All right, the radius from A to B and the radius from A prime to B prime. Of course, that's the same thing. So what I need now is to find my C prime. I need to duplicate this point right here. And the way I'm going to do that is now I'm going to change the width of my compass to find the length of segment CB. All right, how far from C to B exactly? Okay, so I'm finding that distance right there. And once I have it, I'm going to use that width to find where point C is going to be. So now put the point of your compass on B prime and make another arc. Okay? So this intersection is going to be the exact distance from B prime that C is away from B. So this should be the location of C prime. So then I can just take my straight edge and draw the other side of my angle. All right, so there I have duplicated angle CAB is now C prime, A prime, B prime, and those are going to be congruent. This process works equally well for an obtuse angle. Again, first thing you do, it doesn't have to be some specific width, but go ahead and put the vertex, put the corner of your compass on the vertex. And go ahead and draw an arc that's going to intersect both sides of the angle. Like that. Now keep your compass in that position. I'm going to go ahead and mark these as my A, my B, and my C. So I need to duplicate that process. So this is going to be my new side of my angle. Alright, so this will be my A prime right here. Okay. So I'm going to have to find my B prime over here somewhere. So I'm going to do that by still having that same radius on my compass. Okay, I'm going to draw a nice arc. Okay, basically what I'm doing is I'm drawing the same arc that we have up here. So this intersection point will be my B prime. So now I just need to find my C prime, which is going to be in here somewhere. But I can find the C prime by measuring the distance from C to B on my compass. Okay, just get it just right. Okay, there it is. So once I have the distance from C to B correctly, then I can put the tip of my compass on B prime and make a new arc. Okay, so that intersection should be the proper distance away because I just measured it. BC, BC, you know, B prime, C prime. So this should be my C prime right here. So in that case, I should be able to draw the other side. And there I have duplicated the angle. Angle BAC should be congruent to B prime, A prime, C prime. Now in this last problem, we're supposed to construct an angle whose measure is twice as large as the given angle. So that's going to be easy to do. Let's call this point A and do the same thing we did before. Okay, we'll do it about like that. All right, when you first begin, it doesn't have to be any special length. Just pick something that intersects both sides. And just go ahead and draw an arc. Okay, can you see that? Try to draw a little darker for you. Okay, so you draw an arc. And so this will be my B and my C. Okay, so I'm going to start by doing the same thing I did before. I'm going to make a new side of a new angle. Okay, so I think I'm just going to use all new letters. So I'm just going to call this point P, but that's similar to point A. All right, so now I'm going to find a point that's similar to B. Now my compass still remembers the radius that I just did. So I'm going to do it again. Because I know I'm going to be making this angle twice as large, I need to make my arc nice and big. So I'm going to make my arc very large to make sure I have room. Okay, because it's got to reach double. So this point right here is like my B. But because we're making a whole new angle twice as big, I'm just going to call it something new. I'm going to call it Q. Okay? Now, this is the point where we changed the width of our compass to measure the distance between C and B. Okay, so that is exactly that width. The only difference is this time we're going to do it twice. So if I put the tip of my compass here at point Q and draw a little bit of an arc right there. All right, so far, if I drew my other side right now, that would be congruent to my original. But I want it to be double. So I'm not going to stop right here. I'm going to move the point of my compass to that new location and draw a second small arc intersecting. Okay, now that second small arc is going to show me where the side will be twice as wide as the original. Okay, once, twice. So if I, let's see, I'll call this R, just for, it doesn't really matter. But I'm doing QPR right now. If I put my side right here, then the angle will be twice as big. Okay, so drawn this way, I could say that the measure of angle QPR is twice as big as the measure of angle BAC. And that's what they wanted us to do. All right, that is the end of this lesson. I hope it was helpful for you. I will see you on the next video.